Hello students, a very warm welcome to Meso Study Sessions. In today's class, we will be talking about some questions from the chapter Life Processes. So let's start this today's session. So as you can see, I have included around 10 questions. Out of these, first 3 are of 1 mark. After that, the 3 questions are of 2 mark. After that, 2 questions from 3 marks and 2 questions from 5 marks. I'll tell you to attempt, I'll tell you how to attempt such type of questions, what to write, what not to write, what are the silly mistakes that every student does in this. So let's start the today's session. So first question is of 1 marks. So first question indicate into how many groups organisms can be classified. So just have a look. Organisms. All the organisms, they are classified into 2 groups. Let's have a look. Organisms. They are classified into 2 groups. The first are those organisms which can prepare their own food. These are termed as autotrophs. Autotrophs. Right. Second is termed as a heterotrophs. Autotrophs and heterotrophs. So listen very carefully. Autotrophs are those who can prepare their own food. Own food, right? Whereas a heterotroph, they depend directly or indirectly, directly or indirectly on plants for food. Autotrophs, they show a very important mechanism, which is a photosynthesis, due to which they prepare their own food. Right? They fix this sun energy, sunlight in the presence of carbon dioxide and water. They produces carbohydrate, and along with that oxygen is released. Now that energy which is released, that is utilized for their building up. Later on, they are utilized by different group of organisms. Some are herbivores, some are carnivores. Herbivores, they are dependent upon these producers directly, whereas the carnivores, they are dependent indirectly. For example, the carnivores like lion, etc., they depend upon deer for the food, and deers directly they depend upon the animal or plants for the food. So this is an indirect kind of relationship. So the first question, that organisms, they are classified into 2 groups. This is what you have to answer. That is, first is the autotrophs and second is the heterotrophs. These are the 2 words that you have to write, and along with that you should write the definition as well. What are autotrophs, what are the heterotrophs, along with it the examples as well. For example, in case of the autotrophs, you can write green plants. In case of heterotrophs, you can write some carnivores or name of the certain herbivores, right? So this was the first question. Let's move on to the next question, question number 2. So question number 2 is also of 1 mark. So whenever 1 mark question is there, try to attempt in a shorter way. A precise and a very good answer you should give. Do not write stories for 1 mark questions. So name the structures through which amoeba captures food. Hope you remember the session when I have discussed about the structure of amoeba, right? We have already discussed that. So in case of amoeba, if you remember the structure, they are irregular in shape. Irregular in shape. A very well defined nucleus is present. The cytoplasm is differentiated into outer ectoplasm, and towards the inner side endoplasm is present, right? Whenever they feel the food is there near to them, in that condition they produces a false feet. They keep the food in their vicinity. A part of the structure of amoeba or the body wall, they elongate and they form a structure like this. They form a structure like this which holds the food. So this is food, whereas this particular area is termed as a pseudopodia. Pseudopodia, right? Pseudopodia, false feet. They covers the food around their pseudopodia, and after that this particular area of the pseudopodia, they fuses with one another and they form a continuous structure, due to which this food vacuole is formed within their body, and later on, because of the release of digestive enzymes like this, all the food is absorbed, digested, and later on they are absorbed, and whatever the excretory product which is not of use, they are removed from their body wall. They are removed from their body wall. So, this is just to introduce you regarding what we have studied in the session, but for this answer, for this question, you have to write that answer is a pseudopodia. Pseudopodia. Another name of pseudopodia is false feet. See, the normal name or easy name you can easily derive from this name. Pseudo means false, podia means foot. Right. So, this was a question number 2. Let us move on to the next question, that is a question number 3. Let us have a look. So, this is a question number 3. Hope you have noted down this. Now, what is the range of normal systolic and diastolic blood pressure? Now, listen very carefully. In the sessions, we have discussed about the blood pressure. Right. Blood pressure is what? It is a pressure of blood in blood vessels. Right. This is a blood pressure. A particular pressure we have to maintain. And in that context, we always talk about two types of pressure. One is considered as a systolic pressure, and second is termed as a diastolic pressure. Right. Systolic pressure should always be around 120 mm of Hg. Whereas the diastolic pressure should always be 80 mm of Hg. 120 mm of Hg and 80 mm of Hg. Now, once again focus on this. What is a systolic pressure? See, this is just a 1 mark question if such type of questions come for 2 marks or the 3 marks, and if you have to define what is systolic and the diastolic pressure, what will you define? But for this 1 mark question, this much answer is enough. So, what is a systolic pressure? Systolic pressure is that pressure. It is actually that maximum amount of pressure which is there in a aorta or the major arteries once there is a contraction of heart. Maximum pressure in the arteries after the contraction of heart. Right, heart is totally contracted. Now, what will be the maximum pressure? Let us talk about that is a 120 mm of Hg. Second, you have is a diastolic pressure. Diastolic pressure is that pressure of aorta which is there in these arteries after the heart relax. That means this is that minimum pressure which has to be maintained. So, the pressure should not be lower than this and the pressure should not be higher than this. Right. This is a systolic pressure. Systolic means to say, how to remember this? This is that pressure in the arteries after the contraction. Diastole means a dilation. That means it is that pressure once your heart is fully dilated. One beat consists of your contraction of heart as well as relaxation. Both of these, they constitute one beat, which is 72 times, which beats in a 72 times per minute. So, this was a question number 3 and this is the answer which you have to write. Let us move on to the next question, question number 6. Now, so question number 4, this is the question number 4. 4, 5, 6, this is of 2 marks. So, you have to answer accordingly. So, question number 4 indicate write one function each of the following component of a transport system in human being. Now, they have mentioned the 4 component of transport system in case of human being. I mean to say they refer over here regarding the circulatory system. They have mentioned the 2 type of circulatory system because they in the C option they have mentioned the lymph, that means they are asking the lymphatic system as well. What is lymph, what is the function of lymphs, etc. Now, one function you have to explain, and each function should be accurate, and the most important function you have to write, and each part is having around half marks. So, this is how you have to answer. For option number A, it is written over here blood vessels. So, blood vessels are what? Blood vessels, they are arteries and veins. Arteries and veins. This is what you have to explain in this. They actually act as a transport system, due to which the blood is transported to the various part of the body, starting from a heart and from various structure of the heart to the heart. Now, in this case, what happens is you have arteries and vein. What is the function of arteries? Artery carry, listen very carefully, artery carry oxygenated blood from heart to various parts of body. Now, another word which is written over here, that is a vein. What is a vein? So, vein carries deoxygenated blood. And from where it carries the deoxygenated blood? From veins carry deoxygenated blood from body parts. So, here the body parts are all the body parts except your lungs. So, body parts to heart. Right, from where it is transported to your lung for the gaseous exchange. In case of arteries, as per the definition is considered, one exception is there, which is a pulmonary artery, and in this case the exception you know, that is a pulmonary vein. Let us move on to the second part, that is a part B, the blood platelets. What is the function of the blood platelets? It helps in blood clotting. Just imagine a situation if this system is not working in your body. In that condition, if you will experience any injury, the blood, a large amount of the blood will be lost from your body from that cut, because in that case no clotting can happen. Now, the C indicate lymph. So, what is a lymph? Right. Lymph is a white colored fluid, right. What is the function? It help in transport of fat, and other large biomolecule. Some of the biomolecules, they are larger in size and they cannot enter into blood vessel. The reason is that this size is this much big that cannot enter into our blood vessel, so they remain in your intestine only. From there it is absorbed into this lymph, from where it is circulated to the various parts of the body. This is the function of a lymph, white color fluid. When you will see the exact composition of lymph, it is almost similar to your blood. In case of lymph, you cannot notice the RBC is present, whereas in blood you know the RBC is present, which is of red color because RBC has hemoglobin present. Now, the D option states it is that we have to explain heart. So, what is a heart? Heart is a pumping organ. Right, which supply oxygenated blood to various parts of body right, and receives receive deoxygenated blood from various parts of body and transported to, and from here they are transported to lungs. For which process? For exchange of gases. For exchange of gases. This is what you have to explain in heart. I have explained over here the function of arteries, the function of vein, and also I have explained one important process which is our respiration. Respiration, right? So come back to this. So this is what you have to explain in this question. Now let's move on to the next question, question number 5. Again a very good question. Read this question properly. By the time, let me prepare this board for you. So, question states, what is the difference between breathing and respiration? Yes, these two processes are important process and they are separate process as well. So, on the one side you have to write breathing, and on the second write, just write respiration. We have already done this in the session. So, breathing is what? Breathing is a physical process. Physical process of exchange of gases. Exchange of gases, right, from environment into lungs, right, from environment and blood. Whereas a respiration is a cellular process where exchange of gases occur at tissue level. Gases occur at tissue level from blood. Right. In this case, what happens? Whatever the oxygen is released, so oxygen is utilized for oxidation of food, to release energy, and this energy is utilized for various reactions which occur in our body. I am able to move from one place to another, I am able to write on this blackboard. Energy is utilized, and that energy is like where this energy is coming from, because like 10 minutes before only I had my lunch, and what is happening? Oxidation is happening, right? And that food is broken down. Later on, that food is continuously transported to my cells in the tissue, where they are utilized or where they are oxidized, so that the energy is released, and that energy I am utilizing right now. So, breathing is a physical process, where the respiration is a cellular process where this exchange of gases occur and energy is released. Two important process, very important process. Now, let's move on to the question, that is a question number 6. Read this question again very carefully. See, I am just telling you how to attempt such question. I am just telling you to make you understand this question, to tell you what you have to write. For exact answers, like if you want a detailed answer in each of these, you can refer to our ebooks. In ebooks, at the end of each chapter, these questions are mentioned where answers are also given. So for the exact answer, I mean to say, some students, they always require a particular line wise answer, so you can refer to our ebooks. So question number 6 indicates, although bile juice has no digestive enzyme, yes, we know, it is still considered to be important for the digestion of the food. Give 2 reasons. Very important question and very good question as well. Now, what actually they are saying? They are saying your bile, right? Bile comes from liver. Am I right? See, if some questions, if I have mentioned some question, that doesn't mean I will touch only that question. From the surrounding topic, from the nearby topic, if any type of the question comes, I will try to explain you that as well. So, bile, they comes from liver. So, from the liver, if bile comes later on, they are stored in gallbladder, for some time, and as per the requirement, they are released into small intestine. Where they are released? Released in small intestine, right? Now they are asking the function of this bile. The first function, as you know, as we have discussed n number of the time, that bile help in emulsification of fat. Emulsification of fat. Now again, some of you students will be having confusion regarding the emulsification. Emulsification, I mean to say digestion of fat, where a larger fat droplet is converted into small droplet so that they can be easily digested. That is called as a emulsification of fat. This is one function that we know, but they are asking 2 questions. Yes, we have another important question, another important reason for the bile is, see, whatever food is there, food starts from mouth and later on from this passage, that is the esophagus, it is transported to your stomach. Stomach is that area where it is mixed with HCl. HCl is present in the stomach, and also it is mixed with one enzyme, that is a pepsin. When you will see the overall pH, that is quite acidic, and in that acidic medium, some of the enzyme which will be released from the pancreas, they cannot act. So, to neutralize that acid, to provide an alkaline environment, bile is that thing which helps in providing alkaline environment. Why? Because bile has carbonates. So, second point is, bile has carbonate which neutralize acidic chyme and make it alkaline for the action of pancreatic enzyme. What are the pancreatic enzyme? Can you name one of them? Yes, we have an answer like amylase, lipase, trypsin, etc. Right? So, what is the function of these pancreatic enzyme? They help in digestion of your carbohydrate, your fats as well as protein. Right? It's help in digestion of all these things. So, this was question number 6. With this, we have completed one more category, that is a question of 2 marks, a short answer type question. Let's move on to the next category, that is a question number 7. So, this is of 3 marks, so you have to answer in bit detail. So, let's have a look. So, question number 7 indicate, name the various digestive gland associated with the human digestive system and also gives the name of secretion of these glands along with their function. See, they are asking various glands. So, let's have a look. Various glands are present and I have a list of it. First of all, you know, see, This we have already studied in session. Reason I have chosen this question to give you an idea, to give you that table, so that you have a better understanding of all these glands and their secretions. First, let's talk about the salivary gland. Salivary gland. Right? What is the name of secretion? Name of secretion is your salivary amylase. What is the function? Function is that it produces ptyalin. Ptyalin produce, which help in digestion of starch. So the right time when you start eating food, the digestion starts in your mouth only. Because of the presence of salivary gland which secretes salivary amylase, where this digestion starts, and that is converted into maltose. What is the another function of this amylase? It also helps in making the food. It helps in liquid, it helps in transferring the solid food into a liquid part, right? So overall lubrication of food increases so that a digestive enzyme can easily act, and also they can easily move throughout your digestive tract. Now, this was first one. Let's talk about the second one, which you know, that is a gastric glands. Gastric glands. Your gastric gland secrete two types of secretion. The name of secretion first you have is the HCl, and second you know that is a pepsin. What is the function of HCl? We have discussed in session that it makes the overall food acidic. So whatever the pathogens, if they tries to enter in our body through your mouth, once they will come in contact with the HCl of stomach, they dies. Second important function is a pepsin. What is the function of pepsin? It helps in digestion of protein. So, in the function category, you have to answer the functions of HCl as well as pepsin, right? Another function of HCl is the help in activation of pepsin. Pepsin is always present in the form of pepsinogen, which is an inactive form. Later on it is converted into a pepsin form, right? We have discussed that in session. So this is the second one, that is a gastric gland. Now let's talk about the third one, which is a liver. Liver is also a gland which secretes bile. What is the function of bile? We have discussed that it helps in emulsification of fat. The same point I am writing, emulsification of fat. Now, another important function is it provides alkalinity. Right, liver. Let's talk about the fourth, which is a pancreas. Pancreas. What is the function? Function is that it produces three types of enzyme, like your trypsin, like your lipase, like your amylase. What is the function of trypsin? It helps in digestion. So you have to write whole line. Trypsin help in digestion of protein. Your lipase help in digestion of lipid. Whereas amylase, they help in digestion of the complex carbohydrate. Or you can write a polysaccharides, right? Likewise, you can write your intestinal glands as well, which produces enzyme which helps in the digestion of all these substances. Along with that, the intestinal secretions, intestinal gland, they produces amylase which help in digestion of the carbohydrate. So complete digestion of the carbohydrate occurs in intestine. This starts with the mouth and completes in the intestine. So these are the different type of gland which you have to answer. Salivary gland, you can write, they are, because they have asked these functions as well as give the name of secretion of these glands. Yeah, that is fine, but you can write that salivary gland, they are present in mouth. gastric gland, stomach, liver and the bile, you know, they are present in vicinity with your small intestine, and the liver, you know, they secretes bile, and like this they are stored in the bile, is stored in the gallbladder, etc. So both of these, liver and pancreas, they pour their secretion directly into small intestine, right? So this was question number 7. Note this down, I will be back. So students, hope you have noted down this. Now let us move on to the next question, that is a question number 8. Read this question properly. Why the medium becomes acidic in mouth? What is the ill effect of acidic medium? How this can be prevented? This also we have discussed in session. So to talk about the acidic medium in mouth. So acidic medium. Right. How this acidic medium is produced? This is produced because of bacteria, right, which utilize sugary foods, sugary food, and convert into acid, and convert into acid. Once they convert into acid, this acid leads to formation of plaque. So what will be the consequence? Plaque formation. Now after this plaque formation, what happens is your saliva cannot reach your teeth. In that condition, the chances of damage of enamel can occur. Right. Now acidic medium, how acidic medium is created? Once we take lots and lots of the sugary food, in that condition the bacteria present in our mouth, they convert these sugary foods into the acid, which causes plaque, due to which the amylase enzyme cannot reach to your teeth, and overall acidic medium they keeps on creating over there, due to which your enamel destroys. This is called as a plaque, or acidic medium is created. Now the last part of the question says how this can be prevented. Yes, this can be prevented by regular brushing your teeth after every meal. This was the question number 8. Let us move on to the next question, question number 9. So question number 9 and 10 is of 5 marks. First part states, draw the diagram of a human heart and label the following. So the human heart diagram we have already done in session. You have to draw a complete diagram, and the diagram should be with pencil. You should not use pen while drawing biology diagram at least. So use pencil, try to label on one side, neat and clean diagram should be there if such type of questions come. Now in this we have different part where we have to label some, we have to do certain labeling. The first part says the part which receive deoxygenated blood from vena cava. So listen very carefully, vena cava. Vena cava carries deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood, that we know, right? And first of all, how it carries deoxygenated blood, I mean to say from where it carries, it brings the deoxygenated blood from the various part of the body, from each and every tissues of the body. It carries it and pours blood into right atrium. This is the correct answer. It pours into right atrium, right? Because overall when you say heart, in this the 4 chambers are present. 2 are present on the left side, 2 are present on the right side. On the left side the oxygenated blood comes, on the left or right side the deoxygenated blood comes. This is what you have to answer. So in this case you have to label right atrium, right? let's move on to the second part which send deoxygenated blood to lungs through pulmonary artery, right. So, in this case also they are referring over here the deoxygenated blood, means they will be talking about the right side of your heart. So, in the right side the receive part is done by atrium, whereas the send part is done by your ventricles. So, in this case, the second part, the correct answer you have is a right ventricle, right. Another chamber you have to mention, right. So, in this question everything is mentioned, right. If you know the diagram of heart and if you will try to label all those things, suppose if you forget this vena cava, ultimately as a question indicates, the first part indicate, you will be able to remember it because it is related over here with the deoxygenated blood. So, somewhere or other question itself has sometime answers. So, your like mind should be completely open while reading these questions. So, third part, which receives oxygenated blood from lungs, right. In this case the oxygenated blood is received by your left hand side. So, receive part will be done by atrium only. So, for this the correct answer you have is a left atrium. Again just remember the taking part or receive part is done by atrium, whereas the supply part is done by ventricles. After that, parts which send oxygenated blood to all the parts of the body through aorta, this is a left ventricle. Right. Now, once again, what does the blood consist? Yes, let us have a look. Blood. If I have to explain your blood, can I say blood is a connective tissue? So, this is a connective tissue, right. They are saying they are made up of, the blood has two parts. The first part is considered as a plasma and second part is considered as a corpuscles. Corpuscles, or they are also called as a cells, right. Plasma has water, it has protein and it has various substances and it carries carbon dioxide and the gases as well, but in dissolved form. Whereas in case of the corpuscles, the three types of cells are present. The first you know that is a RBC, second you know that is a WBC and the third you know that is a platelets. RBC, WBC and platelets, red blood cells, white blood cells and the platelets. Carries hemoglobin, it provides a red color to your blood. WBC, it helps in a fight against the pathogens, it helps in blood clotting, right. So, this was your part, that is a blood, B part. The C part, write the function of blood. Do function they are asking, we have n number of function. Help in transport of gases. Which part? This is C part, right. Second is it helps in transport of transport of hormones. It helps in transport of food, right. It helps in a removal of nitrogenous waste. So, these are the following function of blood. Gases, transport of gases, that is why respiratory pigment you can say it is present in the heart, which is a hemoglobin which carries carbon dioxide and oxygen, that you know we have studied in the respiration part. Hormones are there, right. Hormones are secreted by glands. Glands doesn't have duct, they directly pour their secretion, and we have discussed that these hormones they act as a messenger. Messenger are just like we send signal to someone and these just like they act like a signal which causes a considerable change in a responding tissues. Food, you know, all the food or the soluble form or the simple soluble form of the food, they are absorbed with the help of blood from where it is transported to the various part of body, where they are oxidized to release energy. Removal of nitrogenous waste we have discussed, and the excretion part, right? In excretory system, that the renal vein is there, the renal arteries is there, which carries, the renal arteries carries blood which is having oxygenated, this nitrogenous waste containing food. Once these waste they are removed, again they are released back into the blood, and that is carried by renal vein. So this was the question number 9. Let's move on to the next question, question number 10. A very important again and very easy question. Hope now at least you can do this question by yourself. They are asking the process of digestion in case of man. I'll just tell you what you have to explain. In the first few sessions only I have discussed regarding the nutrition, and in that topic when I have discussed the digestion of human digestive system, there you will find the answer. I am just giving you points what you have to write and what you have to explain in this, because it is of a 10 marks. So, the first part is you have to draw a diagram of a human digestive system. So, first of all you have to explain mouth, right? In case of the mouth, you know the salivary glands are present which secretes the salivary amylase which help in digestion of carbohydrate, which convert these complex carbohydrate, for example your starch, into your maltose. After that, the second part you know, that is a esophagus. So, esophagus just you can forget also. After that you have to write stomach. Stomach, the gastric glands are present where they secrete HCl, and it also secrete pepsin which helps in digestion of protein, right. The third part you have is you can write small intestine. In case of small intestine, you have to write that in the small intestine there are two secretions come. There are actually two secretions because of the two different glands. The first you have to explain regarding the liver which secretes bile. The temporary storage structure is termed as your gallbladder. Function of bile is they help in emulsification of fat and as well as providing alkalinity to the chyme. After that you have to explain for the regarding the pancreas, which helps in secretion of your lipase, which help in secretion of your amylase, and how can we forget the digestion of protein which is done by trypsin. Is it fine? Right? Now, after that one more thing that I would like to discuss, that your intestinal glands also secretes succus entericus. Succus entericus, and what is the function? That it helps in digestion of carbohydrates, basically the starch digestion. Its help in the starch digestion. And after that the food is absorbed, digested food. The next part you have is absorption, because this is just, they are just asking regarding this digestion process. So, you have to explain only this, no need to go into detail of absorption. Draw diagram, well labeled diagram should be there, starting from mouth to the anus, a complete diagram indicating the liver, indicating your gallbladder and the pancreas as well, right. So, with this we have completed the today's session, the 10 questions. Hope the things are clear to you. I know I have explained in a superficial way. For the detail you can refer to our sessions. We have already completed the same in the sessions. So, I have just given you an overview, otherwise I would have started the exact definition, giving you the notes. That will just a wastage of time, because all the things we have already completed in the sessions. So, if you have already seen the sessions, every question you might be feeling that these are very easy questions. Likewise, we will be talking about a new chapter tomorrow in the next class, and we will be discussing a new chapter, new things, we will be learning new things from a new chapter. So, after that we will be discussing the questions of that chapter. So, before watching or before moving to next lecture or next chapter, revise all these things very carefully. One chapter, the second chapter, means to say most of the chapters, they are interlinked, they are related to one another. So, do not break this continuity. We will meet you in the next session. Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you so much students for watching this.